Hey, Get Fox here. Today we're back again with the Madden Meta Show. This is actually number 3. I've put out more than 3 videos on the show because we've had so many great tips, and I think people have generally given us positive feedback, so we're going to continue with it, continue our roll, and I'm joined by Matster Gamer. How are you?
I am good.
Good. So, what's that?
Life is good.
Yeah, that's always good to hear. So basically, he's a Madden pro, and we're gonna break down like specific like popular schemes and stuff you can kind of fold into your own stuff to kind of make you a better Madden player. So that's the whole goal of this show. So check us out live on Twitch if you're watching this on YouTube. Otherwise, if you're on Twitch right here in the chat, check us out on YouTube, like good old Clickwood. My Master's voice is too low. All right, Master, can you speak?
Yep.
Okay. Yep. All right. Sorry, I had your voice off. My bad. All right.
Oh, okay. That'll do it.
Yeah. All right. So let's talk about it first. What do you want to go to? So.
Okay. So
yeah.
right now, generally the defense is 3-5 odd. Looks like crossfire, which means you're playing a lot of cover 3 hard flat. And on offense, the playbook is between New England and New Orleans. So it's pretty much the news. In this game, well, for this set of stream, we're going to stay in New England because that's kind of what we've gone over in the past. So just kind of building off it based off the new patch. So come out in Crossfire, and then I'm going to come out and split close, and just kind of add on to.
Do you want me to flip? Do you want me to flip Crossfire?
It doesn't really matter too much. So I'm going to get watch your corners. So something very important to know about this last patch is actually, let me just get this audible. So that deep thirds at the moment aren't matching to the outside out routes. So play hard flats. And this, if I put a route down here, should be wide open. Unless he presses for some reason. But even then, wow, that's an incredible
That was
play.
a great play. Isn't that guy usually on a blitz though? I mean,
no, not that guy. Well, it depends
if they flip it or not.
Yeah, it really depends. It's more so, like, in general. So, like, baseline real quick. Because normally you won't have the deep third pressing. I don't think I've seen that the entire year. And then, yeah. So, do this. Let's see. So that out actually does. That's interesting. So certain out routes still do get matched. I haven't seen that yet. I didn't try it with this play. But you'll see for the most part, these 10-yard out routes don't get matched like they were beforehand. It also works like corner routes. So halfback wheel. You used to see this corner out get matched by the deep third, but when I was testing it the other day, I noticed that it actually wasn't getting matched anymore, and I don't exactly know why. Yeah.
Just one of the reasons why halfback wheel is so dang good right now, right?
Yeah, exactly. And like it was weird because I was actually gonna post a video on Madden Daily, or not even Madden Daily. It was on my YouTube account about how to stop halfback wheels corner routes and what makes certain corner routes good and certain corner routes bad, and I actually posted that video up. But what had happened is since the patch, it became a lot harder to cover this corner route, and I didn't know that. So I went to go record the video, and I was like, wait a second, why can't I cover this corner route? Like, this is supposed to be an example of a bad corner route. And all of a sudden, it's just nothing. It's just nothing but open. And like even there, right, where he didn't let me move my player at all when I clicked on, it was still, like, not picked at all.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't close to pick.
What happens if you, like, press that corner? Does it play better or worse?
I mean, it's going to play better. But if I remember right, he didn't play it even then. Like, he kept backing up. Oh, nice pass, Nick.
Yeah, that looked open, though. You could complete that.
Yeah, exactly. And it wasn't like that pre-patch. Pre-patch, it was just kind of like put a zone over there and cover 3.
I did see from the Mutt Leaks that they definitely changed the zones and more than they told us.
Yeah, I think this was accidental. Because the matching seemed to be like a very important part of the new zone logic this year, and I thought they did a really good job of that.
Yeah.
So I want to say this is accidental. That being said, until it gets fixed, this is something that's really important to know because even though it's deep corner, so it's going to take a little longer to run. I mean, it's open against a lot too.
So is it just this formation, or is there a lot of formations that corner route in all formations is now broken against cover 3, or is it just like specific ones?
What I found is it's not every corner route, and there isn't necessarily one aspect of a corner route that makes it different, but whether it be the depth of the corner route and its position on the field mattering the most, but I haven't found one consistent thing where it makes it so no matter what, this is going to be, it's not going to match. Like, for example, wide receiver corners might get matched. I don't know, because this is not one of the ones that I tried, but let's see. Nope, this is wide open.
Yeah. So that corner was wide open. But the corner to the left wasn't open.
Was he? That's interesting.
The corner to the left was covered. Check the corner to the left. I'll use one of the blitzers so they don't come home so fast.
Yep. No, I just play hard flats?
Yeah, there you go. Sorry.
Yep. So you're saying he got matched? Yeah, he did. So, like, that wasn't even a great match, but, like...
Yeah, it wasn't.
He did get matched. So, I don't understand what they did in the patch. I assume it was a mistake. But...
Yeah. It's a pretty big mistake, though. Like, because that changed...
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that just makes that play that was already good into great.
Yeah, like, this play is now, like, God tier. Like, oh, you're in cover 3? Well, have fun. Like, it's pretty much just that. So you can do things like this. You can do things like this. Depending, it essentially just depends on which running back you want to block.
Can you describe what you're doing to make them?
Yeah. So essentially, what you want to do is you want to pull down the hard flats, or if they have cloud flats, to be able to have a read.
So have a cloud flat.
Yeah. So what I'm doing here is essentially saying, okay, well, he's covering. He's probably going to cover up the corner route with the clouds, unless there's some glitch that I don't know about before I snap this ball. Then I want to have a read, right? So there, I had the swing. Honestly, I probably put him on a wheel, but in that case, I just did a swing. Just it's more consistent.
For those who don't know why he says put him on a wheel, check out I think it was our very first meta episode. We talked about halfback wheels and why they're so good this year, and I've definitely seen a lot of halfback wheels on the more than I've seen in my time in Madden in the last 4 years. I've seen the halfback wheel take over more this year than
I wouldn't say they're overpowered. I just think they're the best flat style route from running backs this year, as opposed to table routes, as opposed to out routes, as opposed to swings, as opposed to check and releases.
Better than table routes?
This year, yeah.
Really? That table route from this halfback wheel is pretty freaking powerful, though.
Oh, no, it's good. I just think that, in general, like, for some reason, certain sets, those cloud flats actually blitz in the first step, which is really weird.
Mm-hmm.
And 3-5 odd is one of those sets. But, in general, I really like wheels this year. They're just... Even though, like, table routes are very good, and that's not to say they're not good. Like, in this play, I would definitely leave the table route.
Yeah.
That being said, like, a lot of table routes you still... Well, wasn't expecting that to happen. But a lot of table routes still kind of, you catch them awkwardly. It's been that way since the beginning of last year. Because I think that was the initial nerf to corner strike, if I remember right. Was making it so the table routes weren't always, like, super catches where you kept running forward.
Clickwood's got a question. Does the deep blue on the right cover that post route from the left now that he doesn't play the corner? Maybe that's why, because people were beating cover 3 with it. So can you try that right now?
Probably. Yeah, probably. I mean, I assume it's going to cover it. If it's not matching, then it's just going to cover that.
Yeah, looks like he played really far back, so it is covering that. At least in this set, yeah. I can go to like a stock cover 3. We can try it.
Yeah. If I remember right, I was doing it at Crossfire, so it should still work. Yeah, you should see he's not matching.
Yeah. So that's not going to be a deep... So that's probably why they took it off, huh? Because that
I don't think so.
That post pattern?
It's not exclusive to this formation, and there's counters for that, so I don't think it's that. I think it was a mistake.
Huh.
It would seem really strange to add matching this year, have it work well, and then take it out like a month into the game. I think it was just like something got jumbled up in the code or something like that.
Yeah.
Because I personally really like the match.
I kind of want to get into like more of a discussion. We'll get back to this in a set. Feel like, why do you think people hate this patch so much? Like, it feels like they took one step forward, they got rid of some stuff, but then like they brought in a whole bunch of new inconsistencies and issues, and it feels like there's more people that hate Madden right now than almost ever before. Like at least at this time of year. Am I wrong, or are people not liking the way this game's playing right now?
Like, I've heard both, which is weird. Like the few games I've played on a patch, I've been pretty mad. Like, extremely mad.
Yeah.
But I've only played Weekend League.
Oh.
So, it could be Mutt and me not liking Mutt. It's entirely possible.
Okay.
That being said, I've been getting agged a whole lot. And I'm not talking about the rack ag, I'm talking about, like, just straight up, like, you caught it, and I'm there.
Yeah.
So, that's my issue with the patch. That being said, my users are animating. That's great.
Yeah.
Shoestring quarterback fumbles aren't happening. That's great. So like it fixed things, and then just like whole lot of random stuff's been happening.
Yeah, I think with the user animating, the issue was like low spec catch on a lot of users to start the year. Like that would have fixed itself in like a month or two. Even as people get Shaz was animating fine.
Not in salary cap, it wouldn't know. That would have been an issue regardless.
Oh,
I think
okay. Because yes, you're right. Salary cap doesn't have those kind of high end users.
Yeah. So like we would have had problems, but like it's weird. Like they definitely fixed the things that like they went out to fix. I feel like.
Yeah.
But the things they didn't go out to fix just got completely broken, which I don't understand.
O-line blocking is really inconsistent now, which is I think my biggest issue.
I don't find that to be the case.
You don't find O-line blocking inconsistent? I find like there's some
No,
plays that
that's
just like
nice.
let them through randomly, and then other
Oh,
times.
that's the disengages.
What's that?
That's the disengages I was talking about earlier.
No.
So, yeah, well, it's essentially that. It's when the offensive line passes off somebody for a blitzer coming from depth. So they pass it off to the next lineman, but the lineman isn't actually there to take the blocker.
Yeah.
So he just comes free. And that's kind of the response. So there's two things put in place to counteract gap blitzes. It was the nano detection system and the passing off of blockers. Nano detection system is its own thing. We kind of already know what that does. We already know what that's in place for. The passing off of blockers is a little bit harder to explain. So, actually come out in a 3-4 odd style defense, or actually 4-3 under might be a better way of describing it. And just blitz a lot of people in the middle, or like a safety blitz might work too.
Okay.
And it might come in, it might not, but
like
it might take a couple attempts.
Are you trying to describe why like my guard and tackle goes like dick to ass so many plays and they don't? Yeah, they miss a guy.
Pretty much.
Okay.
So it's not them initially missing. It's the first guy picking him up and then passing him on to the next guy who isn't there to pick him up.
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll see it here. You generally see it when blitzing from depth. Here you didn't see. Actually, you did kind of see it. So this Brandon Graham didn't actually get a win, if I saw that right. He actually just got a disengage. And it's not even technically a disengage, but it's the closest thing to it. So if I saw this right, and I think I did, yeah, he got a disengage. It wasn't actually, this is a disengage. This isn't even what I'm talking about. But because he came so close, and he was starting to get a win, he just kind of dropped him off.
Yeah.
That wasn't even like a really extreme example. That was probably a best case scenario of like what you'd want in that situation. So like crash down. So hopefully, there it is. Perfect. So this didn't look like a win. This looked like a disengage.
Yeah.
He passed him off to no one. Is essentially what's happening.
Yeah. So this is a big issue with Madden right now.
Oh no, he just I don't even have a word for this one.
So this is another issue with Madden.
Yeah, this is another one.
I told you I found an A gap. Finding A gaps.
Somebody's gonna come through the A gap. Well, I guess two people came through the A gap. This dude insta shed too. Actually, this one looked more closer to disengage. Actually, this was a disengage. Perfect. Wow, that wasn't how I expected to figure it out, but that works too. So he's blocking him, and it looks like he actually wins. Like it looks like the defensive lineman wins. That's not actually what happens.
Wait, who's he? Which guy are you on?
I can't get over. Jesus. There we go. It looks like he wins,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
However, that's not actually the case. This offensive lineman, Brandon Brooks, is passing him off to Jason Kelsey. I just can't get it. There we go. As you can see, blocks him, who then passes him off after he gets. Okay, so wow, this is a lot of training linemen. So Brandon Brooks passes off Timmy Jernigan to Jason Kelsey, who then passes him off. If I can get over there.
You don't have to keep moving around. You can just describe.
Yeah.
Use the numbers in the back of their jerseys.
Yeah. Who passes him off to the quarterback to pick him up. Because as you can see, what's his name came. So Nathan Jerry came, and he was just decided he was going to block him instead.
So Jernigan got passed off a couple times, and then like Kelsey decided to pass off Jernigan because he was going to pick up the safety.
Yes,
okay.
Essentially. So that was put in the game to prevent gap blitzes, the passing off. And a lot of times it works to pick up blitzes. It works too well, and that's a whole separate thing. But when you see a lot of those like random A gaps come free, that's not because the blitz is special. It's not because the blitz came in. That's because your offensive lineman decided somebody else is more important, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this could be completely wrong, but I think it's very speed dependent. So if you have a fast player coming, they're going to worry about the fast player as opposed to the slow player because the fast player is more of a threat to come through the gap
That's
because
a good
he's
theory.
faster.
Yeah, that's a really good theory. Yeah.
That could be completely wrong, but it's just something that's been on my mind recently, and it's probably worth testing.
Yeah, I mean, like, does this blitz look glitchy though? I mean, it got through pretty easily twice in a row.
Um, no, because the defense, like, my thing is like, unless you get pressure from the left side, I don't want it unless it's unblockable.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
That's
You want it off the left side? Why? Because they can escape that way.
well, no, it's more so like, okay, if you don't call this play, right, and you have the same look, you can't do anything with these three players. That's gonna like be a threat to the offense. You know what I mean?
No,
So if you want to
explain.
like disguise your blitz, you can't really do that. You're only gonna be able to like overload this right side here with
Mm-hmm.
this look,
Yeah.
unless you find like a tackle lock or something like that. This guy probably won't come in unless you send a 5 off the other side, and it's probably a slidable blitz. So it's not enough to really threaten the offense to the point where they could keep sliding the same way without giving it too much thought every single time.
Oh, I gotcha. So
Yeah.
you'd want like a loop from the middle linebacker back to the left side of the field if it was going to be any good.
I would just want a way to attack both hashes, is the kind of the way you'd want to look at it, right? So in this hash, you have pretty much your entire team. You have 6 players on this side.
6 dudes, yeah.
On this side, you can argue 3.
I
So,
gotcha.
like, unless you have some crazy heat with this guy where you have to slide specifically to stop this blitz and block a running back, then realistically, you can't run a look like this just because against a good player, you're going to get torched. Like, they're just going to keep attacking the flats over here because you can't do much. You're guaranteed to be in a cover 3 unless you do something crazy. But even then, that's pretty easy to pick apart because you're going to want to have a clear out streak anyways for cover 3, right? So even if you put him in a deep half over here, put this guy in a cloud flats, you kind of disguise your look. And you're playing like a half cover 2, half cover 3 hybrid. Like, there's going to be a seam streak to pull back the middle third anyways. So there's going to be somebody taking advantage of that coverage flaw. So that's why I wouldn't run a defense like this.
All right, that's a good tip. So what defense are you currently in?
That's an excellent question. That's a question that I don't know.
You're
Probably
currently looking for one. You're
Yeah, we're in
defenseless.
3-5 on until further notice.
All right, let's get back. Let's get back. So the issue. So you think people are not liking the game, and you said you got angry at it when you played weekend league this weekend. Is because a lot of the O-line blocking and kind of like the handing off of guys to empty spaces. Like, so they just
Well,
need
no,
to
that's
fix
not
that,
necessarily
right?
new. That's
Okay.
not new. That's been in the game for a couple of years now. I want that to go personally.
What do you mean?
If so, I would much prefer that being gone. I think a lot of people complain about the O-line blocking. When the O-line blocking right now is probably better than it's ever been.
Really?
Yes, and it's not close in my opinion.
Really?
The handing off of players is the reason why so few blitzes come in. Outside the fact there's like no defenses, like like crazy formations.
Yeah.
The handing
true.
off is what makes blitzes so easy to pick up.
So they
Outside
need,
the fact you can slide an ID.
yeah. Oh, so you think you can slide an ID every single blitzing game is what you're saying right now?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well,
And
except
not
for,
only that, like it's so much harder to find blitzes because a lot of times the offensive lineman picks it up themselves because they start trading off players. So even if you slide wrong, they'll trade their way through to pick up the opposite side. If that makes sense.
and you don't like that, or you do like that?
I don't
Really?
because the wrong slide aspect. I want there to be like a mind game to it. I want there to be some kind of chess match, but right now it's kind of just like blitz until you get a shed, or blitz until for some reason it comes free. There isn't really that mind game of, well, I'm setting up this defense to beat this slide protection because I know if he slides wrong, I'm going to get the heat. It's more so of, well, this blitz will come eventually. There's not really too much scheming to defense. It's more so just adjustments, which is fine. Like, adjustments is obviously something that you want to have. Like, you don't want there, obviously, adjustments not to matter. But heat is just kind of wait until it comes in. Wait until you get a shed. Wait until you get a random A yet. As opposed to running it a good defense, in my opinion.
I see what you're saying with like competitively, and it's more of a chess match that way. The problem with football is that like it is a lot of this random block shots in football, but like for a game, I do agree to an extent. I can see it your way there, where like, but the thing is like, there's so many different defenses, so many different offensive sets that like to nail down that chess like slide this way, slide that way type of AI with how much like the players fuck around with these guys to make it come in no matter what. Like we adjust like if here he doesn't come in, here he doesn't come in, but here he does come in. Like I isn't it very hard to make that, or is that? I mean, am I just cutting them too much slack? They should be able to code that into the game, that chess match type of thing, regardless.
Well, I mean, realistically, with slide and ID, I believe every blitz that gets found is blockable. Unless there's something that makes the entire O-line freeze and is like a super game-breaking glitch that would get insta-patched.
Yeah.
I believe every blitz is blockable easily. Not even like you have to do some crazy stuff like with a running back. So there needs to be some form of chess match where if I'm sending 6, I need to make him at least consider max protecting. Not like they want to max protect because they want a playmaker guy kind of thing. Or they don't have to, but they're just blocking because that's the play setup. I want to make them think about max protecting, and I can't really do that. Like, there's so many aspects that I can't do on defense because the offensive line does all the work for them. And it becomes frustrating.
Yeah, I can see what you're saying. I think that's because like the defense has just such a hard time in coverage against certain concepts. Like you're talking about with the max protect, like we've seen that so much out of this bunch formation with the max protect, and then like they just run like a deep crosser from the left of that pat sail and like a slant and a clear out, and like one's gonna come open with the playmaker and stuff, and eventually like that kind of stuff just spreads. So like I like your way of thinking about it, like making it a chess match, that kind of thing, instead of just the O-line picking everything up. But like, I think the game is so far away from that chess match that they need to make the O-line like this. Like this is kind of just like a Band-Aid until they fix their shit.
The thing is, I generally disagree, and I've seen a lot of ID the mic doesn't work.
Yeah.
It doesn't work how you assume it would work, but it works plenty fine. I have used ID mic on every single blitz, and it has been necessary for every single blitz that I've used it. You just don't. I don't think I've ever ID'd the blitzer.
Why would they advertise you ID the blitzer on ID the mic then?
Because I think that's how it was intended. Well, actually, that was how it was intended because I asked about it. But sometimes that's not how things work. So, well, I have no.
So
issues
you can
with
see why people say it's broken.
Oh, I know why people say it's broken. I had people saying it's broken that I didn't think would be saying it's broken earlier this year, and I was kind of surprised, but I was very surprised because I thought
it's not working as intended. I feel like it's like you're basically duct taping like a couple things together and saying, "Hey, look, it's working and it's fixed," because you have to ID randomly based off the blitz that you see.
Well, here's the thing: it's not random.
You're right.
System
Random
is
was
very
the wrong
consistent.
word.
Yeah. The system is very consistent, and it's more than functional. So it doesn't work as intended, and technically it's broken, but I'm very happy with the way it works. Alongside sliding.
That's just because you need. All right, so say you've played a few games online, and your opponent starts hitting you with a blitz, but you're not Mattster gamer. Say you're kind of like a more casual competitive guy, but you're not like top tier, top 50, top 10 competitive player. If you see a blitz for the first time online, and you're like, okay, this guy's coming through my gap, I'm just gonna ID him, and it should pick it up, right? Because my running back is free to pick him up, and I'll ID the mic because they've advertised ID the mic to be able to pick up these rushers. So you ID the mic, and then say either he just gets home like without even being touched, and then you're like, this game's broken, and you turn it off. I hate this freaking game. The mechanics are broken. Like I get that there are people out there that will understand every single and know every single blitz in the game. There are those people, but that population is probably 100 of the millions that buy this game. So I on one hand I see what you're saying, but on the other hand I completely disagree.
Yeah, and I get that, and I mean I think I've mentioned this during the last stream, but there's a reason why we have 3 different game types, and I wish that was actually utilized.
Yeah.
But it's not really utilized. I don't know.
Yeah. Go on. So they don't have the dev time to utilize it properly, maybe?
Yeah, and I think realistically, men should get more resources. But that's a whole separate thing.
Yeah, we can talk about that too later. Platinum Woods, that's a really good question. Can you
Yep.
explain who to identify on these blitzes?
I mean, it's very dependent on blitzes, on the types of blitzes. So if you're picking up edge sheet, a lot of times I ID outside cornerbacks because you can do that. So I don't necessarily want to ID like I look at it as a second slide.
Okay.
That's how I
That's
would
a good tip.
view it.
Yeah.
Look at it as a second slide. If you need to cover the middle, I might ID a defensive tackle. If I need to ID some kind of edge sheet, I'd ID a corner. Very rarely do I ID linebackers unless
So
it's glitchy.
yeah. So like say you're against the 46 fire zone 3 flipped. Who do you ID there? How do you slide and ID that?
Flip. Which gap is it coming through? If it's
It would be coming through over here, right?
On the
Through
left?
the B gap. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to ID for that. You can just slide right.
Slide right away from it. Okay.
Yeah, that's all you have to do.
Yeah. So do you think sliding away from the blitz, it makes sense because the running back goes to the other side of the formation?
That's fine.
Do you think Madden should change that, or do you think that's fine?
I'm cool with that. It works.
Yeah.
I haven't had any issues with it ever. I mean, that's how I picked up nickel blitz in Madden 17. Until
You picked
April
up
when it became unblockable.
Until what?
Until April when it became unblockable.
I was about to
That's
say.
how I picked it up.
Wait, you were picking up nickel blitz? I remember that shit. That game was so I hated 17 more than any other Madden I played.
Yeah, well, I picked up nickel blitz until April, which
Yeah.
is when a good friend of mine, Franchise, brought the safeties in box and found the safeties in box made it so the lineman would always get power rush animations, which means it was always the nickel on the running back and the running back would dumb out. But only when the safeties were in the box did that happen. But until that point,
Yeah.
which was April, that's how I picked it up by cross blocking.
Yeah. So ID the mic you consider it a second slide. So what about crossfire? How would you slide on like crossfire on the 335? Here, let me pick it up. Like
Yeah,
so let me watch you pick up my crossfire blitz.
Yeah, and again, it really depends. I mentioned this earlier to you, but a lot of these pickups are very dependent on the offensive formation you're in. It's like a single back spread won't pick up anything like gun ace twins. So you have to keep that in mind. But in general, like shotgun sets, a way I would pick this up would probably be some form of ID a defensive end. It was very good last year for picking up loopers. And again, it's an inside pressure, so IDing someone on the inside is kind of how you want to do it. So I'll ID this guy. We'll just see. It's been a couple weeks since I've been on because Call of Duty Blackout has been a whole lot of fun. But so actually, there's a disengage right there.
Yeah, it was gonna be my looper.
Now that we
that
don't
guy.
want it.
Yeah.
Yeah, now that we don't want it, right?
Yeah.
So we're just gonna ID this guy again. Hopefully he doesn't
Hang
go
on,
beast mode.
I'm getting a little bit of lag here. I can't set up my blitz.
Oh,
Alright.
okay.
Yeah, because I'm connected to your. Yeah. All right,
Yeah.
I think that's fine. Wait, oh shoot, I didn't set up correctly. Shit.
Oh.
Yeah. I needed to spread my D line.
Yep. But right there, you did see the running back pick up the looper.
Yeah.
So it's just like that. There's definitely
All right.
some
try it
default
again.
that goes to ID the mic. All right. So I'm not gonna slide or anything. I'm just gonna ID this guy. And right there, picks him
Woo,
up.
got him. Nice.
And then Nick Foles with the wheels. He's
Yeah.
gonna get up out there.
So I picked it up. Let me try it without the QB contain. Try and pick it
Yep.
up here.
And again, I'm not gonna do anything besides ID. Like obviously, there's probably ways to maximize this, but just for example's sake,
Yeah,
I was a little late there. If I slid to the left side of the pocket, he probably picks him up. But I'll show you one more time here. And let me know when you're set up.
all right. I think I'm good.
Yep. So if I slide to the left side of the pocket, yep, picks him up. Now Terrence Sproles just got destroyed,
Yeah.
but he did pick him up. So there's a lot of stuff that goes into it, which side of the pocket you are on, because again, like the running back wouldn't pick him up there unless I slid left, right? In the pocket, not necessarily O-line shift. So there's a lot that goes into it. There's a lot you have to know about the system. So there's definitely some skill to using it, but for the most part, like you only would have to do one slide per setup, like per defensive formation, which is fairly simple. So right there, I don't even know what happened. The offensive line just completely decided they weren't playing that play.
And that's here's the thing. When you say the offense line just decided it's not going to play that play, that happens so frequently. And like imagine that's like a clutch third down you need to convert, and then like you just watch your guard go into space doing nothing. That's why we say this game's broke. The offensive lineman logic is broken this game. Like, and it's hard to defend it. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I think that has to do with looping blitzes specifically.
Okay.
That's part of the reason why they're ran is because they're kind of random.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's part of the thing that annoys me too, right? Is people are relying on blitzes that don't always come in. Like, this is really like the blitz itself isn't special. Okay, he just tripped, which is great, but because that factor where it might randomly dumb out the O line is the reason why it's ran. If you start to have a scheming style of defense where, like, being able to slide the right way actually matters, you won't see as much of this even being ran, so it wouldn't be a problem. And again, there's always been kind of an issue where alignment kind of dumb out, right? Like, it's not like anything new, so it's hard to say it's been worse than in years past when in reality it's always been like this. But now we just have more tools on our end to counter that, and more inherent game tools like the passing off of defenders to kind of counter that as well.
Yeah, I get you.
So it might not be perfect, but it's definitely better than it's ever been. This is the way
there's still a lot, like it almost felt like blocking pre-patch was slightly better.
You just shed there. I don't know.
You don't know?
Honestly, I haven't played enough to give a good enough opinion since the patch. I've been, like I said, I've been playing a whole lot of Call of Duty.
Black Ops, yeah.
So, yeah, so I could say something, but that probably wouldn't be fair to the game and fair to everybody watching. So I'm just gonna say I don't know on that end.
Okay. Yeah, I mean that's probably for the best. All right.
Yep.
So
okay, came in that time.
Yeah, 2 of them came.
But
in.
yeah, no, because the Sproles actually did pick him up.
Sproles picked up the middle guy, but the outside guy got free. Anyways.
Yeah, I think that's
yeah. So how would you attack this cover 3 besides for corner routes?
Well, comeback routes are very good. So they're a little slow, but right now there's not a lot of heat. So
really, not a lot of heat. I'm seeing a ton of heat.
Not a lot of good heat. I mean, kind of like I mentioned before, there's not a lot you could scheme out of.
So how many people do you always block a running back?
I like to. Yeah.
Okay.
So you do things like this, just to come back in a hard flat. And it came in. I wasn't sure if I was going to block it, honestly. But in this case, we'll just, for example's sake, because you don't need to do this in bunch, it just happens to be where we're in. I'm going to just motion over a flat route.
Okay.
Now, as you're going to see right here.
Oh, my guy got stuck. But yeah, nice.
So, comebacks are going to be hard flats. I generally like corner routes just because they're quick. Corner routes are really good. Out routes should be good, so if you baseline here, you'll probably see it.
Oops.
Yeah. Oh, okay, well, we got it yet. But, yeah, so like out routes, corner routes. Generally, I like corner routes, though. Short corner routes are generally the go-tos. Wheel routes are also very good, so like, for example, we'll keep doing this. You should be able to do this. I haven't ran a bunch in a while, so I could be wrong here. But if you play hard flats, you should be able to throw this wheel to the inside if you pull back the deep blue. Right there.
Oh, okay.
So
wheel routes are pretty powerful, yeah.
You just want to be able to attack that soft area of the coverage. Because a lot of times there's going to be cover 3 blitz with hard flats, cover 3 blitz with hard flats, cover 3 blitz with hard flats, and you just want to be able to attack that.
Yeah.
So out routes, corner routes, especially net routes right now because they're so because the deep blues aren't matching as much. Again, comeback routes are very good. So a lot of times, again, the comebacks you don't actually need the underneath route. That being said, like you still kind of want them. Nice catch.
Yeah. Practice mode has a lot of sheds. Yeah, that wasn't a good setup.
Yeah. I'm just curious. I'm like, this isn't something that I think will work, but since the corner routes aren't getting matched, does that mean the C route won't get matched? So shade down real quick. No, I got matched. Okay.
Yeah, I got matched.
I was just curious. I had to check.
Yeah, always good to experiment, right? That's what college days are for.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then deep crossers, post, things of that nature. But you generally want to force them to start like having to shade up or down and just taking advantage of the flats in cover 3.
But you really only, you only have like, what, 3 seconds in the pocket even with like sheds? Oh, I guess I can set up my blitz, but like with this blitz, like you're going to get shedded or it's going to come looping through if you don't have the right protection. So like, are there any quick passes you can send against this, or is it the user too powerful for like quick passes to really matter?
No, you definitely have stuff. So you do things like this. A flat in route combo are very good. So you essentially just low ball, and he was actually so slow that it helped, which is interesting. And it was something that I mentioned similar in the when I was going over halfback wheel. It was this flat in route combo, and I'll show it again here. So I'll throw it a little later just in case. Do you have hard flats?
I believe so. Let me make sure.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm gonna throw it later this time. But as you can see, he gets kind of pulled outside because of the flat route, and his responsibility is the flats. And you can quick throw those ins. There's a lot of quick throw options that you have. So you do it like this, say if you're calling verticals, something like this, right? So you have, if the pressure doesn't come in, you have to you hold the user up with the post, forcing them to pick between essentially the end of the post, and obviously the post is the bigger threat. So you're almost always going to have this in. And again, that's 12, 13 yards right there.
That's pretty good. Like, would you run against this? Would you be able to run against this set?
It's generally good run defense. That being said, there's definitely ways you can run against it. I mean, base is good, as you can see.
Yeah, that got off pretty good.
Yep. You can run stretches against it pretty well. I do have one of the audibles, single back doubles, if I remember right.
Oh, shoot. Sorry, I was looking at chat. What did I just do?
You should be fine.
All right. Single back doubles?
Yep, this is a stretch, and stretch right got fixed. That's another thing they fixed in the patch. You can run stretch to the right now. I think I mentioned it again in another one of these, but as you can see, they didn't insta-shed.
I have noticed a lot more stretch in my online opponents. I've noticed people running it against me effectively now. So I think they definitely made the run game better after this patch.
I tend to agree with that.
Yeah.
I think single backs just in general got better. But I don't have enough testing on that end to say for sure.
Yeah.
But initially, when the patch first dropped, I was testing the run and I was testing stretch right specifically. But in general, single back runs just felt better. I don't know if that was a feel thing or not, so I don't want to say for sure.
Woo! That was a good job escaping those. Yeah, that box of defenders.
I don't know how I got out of that. The one juke was enough, but in general, the run game definitely feels better at first glance.
Yeah. Yeah, that's something I've noticed. I do feel more guys are able to ground and pound, and I'm able to ground and pound a little bit better. Perfect time for Eddie George to come out, right?
Yeah, I haven't played that card yet, but I just assume he's a tank.
Yeah, he is. I've got
Especially
it on YouTube. Yeah, definitely.
I'm actually curious. So I don't know how good that is, but a couple years ago in Madden 17, there was a similar route combo with that, where it got the that running back route open, and because it's kind of a quick breaking route now, it might actually be viable. So as a 5-out play, doing something like this and forcing the user to stay low and then high ball over the face. It's another way of holding the user down to kind of attack that post.
Yeah.
But that's just something I was thinking about when I was looking at the play. I was like, wait a second. So there's definitely a lot of ways you can attack this. And then, did he your crossband or is that the 3-arc? Okay, I was just curious there. That's the 3-arc. Yeah. There's definitely defense for this play. Don't get me wrong, but it's a nice little play you could add to what you're doing.
Yeah.
To just kind of attack this. You definitely want to stick to one setup because it's fairly easy to adjust to single setup plays unless there's just a route that like beats everything. And even there, see, because that hard flat's so slow, you kind of still throw the fly route.
Mm-hmm. All right, nice. So we talked a little bit about stockiness. It does, like, to me, this defense does seem like, and there's a reason so many people are running it. It does seem still pretty powerful because you're gonna basically you won't be able to like one shot him down the field. Like there isn't any like chunk yardage except for like when you get those block sheds on the run. It still feels like you're gonna have to make the right read 10 times down the field to beat this blitz, and then if they sack you once, then you're kind of screwed. So it still feels like this is like the number one blitz right now. Would you say that's accurate? Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely the number one blitz until I find something else. But
realistically, then the user A gap, which is a little bit more.
That's easier to block.
Yeah, that's all you have to do is play action against the user A gap, right? What else?
There's, I think, slide in an A direction, and it gets picked up.
Slide in
so,
yeah.
From my experience, I've only played against it like once, so it's not. Don't quote me on that, but when I did, it was fairly easy to pick up, so I was not even like worrying about it. And they had to send 5 with the user, and I was just I wasn't concerned by it.
Nice. Well, I mean, that's positive though. So if they had to send 5 and the user's not there covering people, I mean that's a pretty positive development.
Yeah, I'm not worried about it. I could legit run quick slants, which I would just never call, but like if they're just gonna blitz their user and send 5, like I could just tilt them with quick slants, yeah.
Until they peel back one play and pick you, right?
Well, that's why you got 2.
Boom, there it is. All right, so what else we are going to talk about? Do contain blitzes still work, or are they too inconsistent to work?
If you want to be, it's how I kind of treat bunch. If you want to be stubborn and run it, they technically work.
Okay, but sometimes they kind of like stop, right?
Yeah. So like, I don't know if you want to base your defense around the players that just might stop for some reason. And we might see it here. Only don't worry about sending the loop. Okay. I think we just want the contain to come in, so I'm gonna try slide opposite just so he comes in. And that didn't work. And I picked it up. Oh man. But yeah, so like every once in a while he'll just like blitz in, come free, and then stop running. So I don't know how well contain blitzes are. You might technically still be able to do it, but until I've seen something that consistently doesn't do that, then like it's just not even worth it. Absolute missile right there.
All right, so we're gonna talk about a little bit about the 46 defense and how to attack it. But the share play is about to stop, and I think we've had a pretty good run today already. So should we shelve 46 for next week? Because we've been talking about 335.
Yeah, that definitely works.
Okay.
Another thing that I just wanted to mention real quick.
Yeah.
Is sets like ace twins. So come out in 335 out again. I'll just add post the audibles here. I don't know why I did that, because I can just come in and post. Sets like ace twins are good at attacking cover 3s because, as you can see, short corner out.
Yeah.
Short corner out. If I can show it, there we go. And a table route. So like they're very good at attacking the flats. Not to mention, because you have 2 tight ends in the line and an offset running back, it becomes easier to run. But not only that, because the tight ends on the line, it kind of changes the O-line blocking, so a lot of blitzes are easier to pick up. So like, for some reason, okay, well, I hit the wrong button completely. I was looking at circle. I haven't ran ace twins in a while. Whoops.
I do that constantly.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've been at ace twins. I thought triangle was the corner out. But I actually saw it disengage there from the center, which now that we don't want it to happen, it's coming in a lot. I've noticed.
I know, awesome, right? I mean,
that's the one thing I've realized about YouTube is like the second that you want something to like stop working, it just starts happening every single time.
Oh yeah, totally.
And if you want it to work, it just never works.
Well, yeah, and then you get made fun of in the comments. Hey!
Yeah, exactly. and then you're worrying about that, and then you don't pass lead right, and everything just becomes a mess. But again, generally like corner routes, good. There we go.
Yeah.
Now we pass it like a normal person. And again, it works on both sides. Like having corner routes on both sides.
I do see a lot of people coming on this set. I've seen it for like most of the year. A lot of people use this, and last year I used this as my main part of my New England offense last year. So it's back again. It seems like the meta hasn't changed a whole lot.
Well, the playbooks are the exact same, so it's kind of hard to change too much.
True. Very good point. They try to nerf bunch a little bit, but it does seem weird. They kind of like they added a couple things, but nothing like too crazy, right?
Yeah, it's.
So how would you shut down this ace post play?
Cover 2.
Oh,
generally.
Chair play stopped.
Yeah, generally some form of cover 2.
Okay.
They're gonna have the speedsters in the middle, right? So like, you don't have to worry about deep middling every single play because of that. Yeah. That's really what it comes down to.
Okay. Well, won't that post hit that deep middle?
Yeah, well, but you can use that. Like,
okay.
Your user's in the middle, so you just kind of have to take that away with your user. If you want to man up a running back here or there, like there's a couple things to do, but generally cover 2 is what's going to give it issues. Cover 2 and adjust slightly.
Yeah, they put like a hard flat on from one of your defensive ends or linebackers.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Unless they start getting really creative.
Yeah.
That's going to be your most effective defense for it.
All right, thanks, Mattster, for the Madden Meta Show number 3. Check it out. Check out Mattster's YouTube channel. That'll be linked in the description of the YouTube video. You can somebody put it in chat here on Twitch. Otherwise, this video, if you missed any of it, I'll put it up. I'll put it up in whole, or I might chop it up into parts for YouTube. I haven't decided yet. But everybody say thanks to Matster. Matster, I appreciate it. Good luck on the COD grind and the Madden grind and everything. Appreciate you coming on again. We'll try and do this every Monday. Is that cool?
Yeah, that works.
All right, perfect. All right, take it easy, Matster.
All right, see ya.
See ya.